ever noticed that all the Sabbaths in the Bible that have a date attached to them are always dated on the 8th, the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th? Well, this is how to find the Creator's Sabbath in nature. We use moon cycles to determine when the Creator's Sabbath is without fail. The last Sabbath of the month will usually be dated the 29th. And that's when you start observing the sky, because the moon after the 29th will usually be a dark moon. It will usually be a dark moon, an invisible moon that you cannot see. It will usually last a certain amount of time. If it lasts long enough, then we have a 30-day month. If it doesn't last long enough, then we have a 29-day month, because in scripture all the months are usually 30 days or 29 days. And the next thing you see after the conjunction, which is the dark phase of the moon, is the new moon. As soon as you see the tiny sliver of the moon, that indicates that that day is new moon day. And therefore, the day after new moon is the second day of the month, but it is the first day of the week, or rather, better said, the first day of your count towards Sabbath. Therefore, 7 days later, it will be the 8th of the month. That's the date, but it's the 7th day Sabbath, and it will usually coordinate along with the half phase of the moon, the first quarter of the moon. That Sabbath will usually coordinate with the half phase of the moon. And then as you go along, following the moon cycles, you will see the full bright orb at some point, and that tells you that that is the 15th Sabbath of the month. The middle Sabbath of the month is dated the 15th of the month, and that is the Sabbath when Christ lay in the grave. He was picked up the day before the 15th, which was the 6th day of the week, which was the 14th of Abib, which is also known as Passover or Preparation Day in the Bible. And then he lay in the grave on the 15th because it was a Sabbath, and the women came on the 16th to find him resurrected. And the 16th is referred to as the first day of the week, because the day after the Sabbath is usually the first day of the week, or rather, better put, the first day of the count towards Sabbath. And that is how you find 7 days later, the 22nd is a Sabbath, is the Sabbath of the Lord. And then the day after that is the 23rd, but is the first day of the count towards Sabbath, giving us another Sabbath on the 29th of the month. And of course, when it gets to the last Sabbath of the month, again, you start observing the sky, so you can know whether it is a 30-day month or a 29-day month. And soon after the conjunction, the dark phase of the moon passes, you will usually see the tiny crescent in the sky, which tells you it's the new moon. The new month has already started, and that's how you begin counting your cycles towards Sabbath. Now, Psalm 89:37 tells us that the moon is a faithful witness in the sky. The Lord put it there so that we cannot mistake, we cannot go wrong with finding his Sabbath. The moon is fixed, it's regular, and it's enduring, just like the Lord's promises to David. It will not fail. So if you observe your Sabbath following the calendar in the sky that is man-proof, that's also foolproof, then you will not mistake the Creator's Sabbath. Blessings.